Hi everyone, this is Miss Moon coming to you from YouTube today. I'm going to talk to you about formula mass. Formula mass is going to be useful for us when we start looking at chemical reaction equations next week, talking about the law of conservation of mass, and just for performing experiments as well. So we're going to talk about formula mass today. I'm going to do number 1 with you, and I'm also going to do number 10 with you because it's a little bit tricky. We have something called a polyatomic ion in this problem. A polyatomic ion is something that has multiple atoms scrunched together in one ion, one basically group that has a charge, hence the name ion at the end. So we'll do these two together. First, let's start with H2O, aka water. First step is to figure out how many atoms you have of each type and what the masses of those individual atoms are. So we have 2 atoms of H in this compound, so H times 2, and every 1 atom of H has a mass of 1.008. Now we're going to be using the units grams per mole because we're going to try to relate this concept, formula mass, back to moles next time we see each other. So we've got 1.008 grams for every 1 mole of hydrogen that we have. Next, oxygen. We only have 1 oxygen in this compound. And every oxygen from the periodic table has a mass of 15.999. Again, grams per mole. What this is telling us is that every 1 mole of hydrogen, so every 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd grams of hydrogen, has a mass of 1.008. Or, for oxygen, every 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of oxygen has a mass of 15.99 grams. So when I say mole, I mean that large number of atoms has this specific mass. Now, next step of the problem is to put this together. We want to figure out the total mass of this compound, so we're going to have to do some multiplication and some adding. So first, we're going to have to take hydrogen's information. We've got 2 hydrogens, and each hydrogen has a mass of 1.008. We're going to add that to oxygen. Oxygen, we have 1 of them, and it has a mass of 15.999. Our final step is to actually put this in our calculator. Feel free to break it down step by step. Take 2 times 1.008, figure out the answer. Take 1 times 15.999, figure out the answer, and then add them together if you like to break it even into smaller parts. I'm going to go ahead and do it all at once in my calculator. So, taking 2 times 1.008 plus 1 times 15.999. Don't forget the 5. And our final answer is 18.015. We're going to go ahead and round all of our answers, our final answers today, to 2 decimal places. So I'm going to end up having to round this one up to 2 based on the 5 that comes after it. So 18.02 grams per mole. So just like these units explain to us, this unit tells us that every 1 mole of H2O has a total mass of 18.02 grams. Same thing as saying 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of H2O has a mass of 18.02. Now let's jump down to a little bit trickier of a problem. Calcium nitrate. So, step 1, how many atoms of each type do we have in here, and what are those individual elements' masses? So Ca, we have 1, and every calcium has a mass of 40.078 grams per mole. Just like saying 1 mole of calcium has a total mass of 40.078, 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of calcium has a mass of 40.078. That's what that mole means. Next, nitrogen. Since it's in parentheses and we have a 2 that comes after the parentheses, we've got to multiply that in by 2. Since there's no number here to multiply, it's going to be an understood 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. So we've got 2 nitrogens. Nitrogen has a mass of 14.007. Finally, oxygen, taking the 3 times the 2, just like we did for nitrogen, but this time there's a 3 after our element. We have a total of 6 oxygens. And oxygen from last time has a mass of 15.999 grams per mole. Final step is to put this in our calculator. So I'm writing out all the information we just found. Now I'm going to put it in my calculator all at once. 1 times 40.078 plus 2 times 14.007 plus 6 times 15.999. This gives us 164.086. Remember to round to 2 decimal places, so this 8 becomes a 9. 164.09 grams per mole. Remember, a mole is 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms. So we're saying here that that many atoms of calcium nitrate specifically has a mass of 164.09. All right, you've got 8 to try on your own. Good luck. Check the answer key when you're done at the front of the room.